Members of the board and I were accordingly named them. The Honorable Clarence Massaquet, former representative of Lofa County, is a member of the Board of Commissioners of LTA. Madam Angela Butch Cassell, Angela Cassell Butch, Madam, you are welcome to NICA. The Honorable Patrick Hona and Honorable Ben Fofana. So they come to speak to the press. We have consistently said that there is a national platform and the president himself are giving legal recommendations, so LTA have come in fulfillment of that mandate. One government, one voice. So with the blessing of the minister, the Honorable Gerald Bepia, I will now stand on all existing protocol to invite to the podium the IT chairperson of the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunication Authority, the Honorable Abdullahi Kamara.
Wow. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press, Mr. Minister, Deputy Minister, colleagues from the LTA. So it's not a pleasure, but it's a duty that I stand here today to announce a decision by the Board of Commissioners of the LTA. So I'll read. So the LTA has issued 4 counts of serious regulatory violations to both Lone Star MTN and Orange Liberia, finding both providers the sum of $300,000 United States each. At the top of this list is a full price violation and refusal to submit critical data with revenue implications. A floor price is a regulatory intervention used to stabilize declining markets in our telecom sector. In 2019, LTA issued it to set a minimum consumer package price for both data and voice. It was effective and in response to a price war between providers. They were each trying to undercut or underdo each other by providing more minutes per dollar to consumer below market price. That's called predatory pricing. It looked good to consumers, but it led to too much traffic on the networks. Too many drop calls, generally poor quality of service, and revenue experienced a sharp decline. Hence, free wasn't really free. As the saying goes, cheap is expensive. Because it was observed that providers were unable to expand their networks and towers were being decommissioned nationwide. Providers were even laying off staff. The result is shrinking telecommunication landscape, which this LTA board will not encourage. The floor price intervention stabilized the sector then. Revenue rose to almost additional 50%, and providers were able to expand their network and their investment in the telecom sector, thereby providing more and better service to the end user. And that is actually the key objective of the LTA. Thank you. What has been happening over the past year or so is a slow return to pre-floor price offering, and once again we are experiencing a sharp decline in market and government revenue capacity. This is not good. The MNO are fully aware that actions are a direct cause of this disruption in the market. The LTA has previously called them and urged them to slowly introduce packages within the floor price metrics that was put in place. They have not. Today, the Board of Commissioners has reviewed the situation and determined to penalize, as stated above. But it's not only about price floor. There are other issues we believe is unhealthy for the sector and acts which both operators are engaged in. There's a cross-border connectivity by Orange. Orange has a cross-border connectivity license with Ivory Coast, which they acquired from the LTA in violation of their license. They use it during the March internet disruption and still have it at their disposal. The acquisition of the temporary authorization was not in writing and therefore a violation. Additionally, the LTA discovered 3 new unreported links belonging to Orange for international traffic calls to Liberia. This is also another violation. The license authorized for every addition, you must get authorization or you must inform the LTA. The LTA has not been informed by Orange. This too is a direct violation of their license. I can continue.
Go ahead.
Data collection from this link cannot be verified unless they are indeed reported and permissions is granted in writing from the LTA. These violations are grave and compromise our ability to monitor the sector effectively. We hope that these fines will curb these actions immediately. I would like to make it clear that while this current LTA board intends to be friendly, intends to encourage fair competition, intends to expand the market, we will not condone any flaunting of our law and our regulation. This is no business as usual. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kamara, the chairperson of the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunication Authority. Please, do they have their attention? Hello. You listen to the chairperson of the Liberia Telecommunication Authority reading the remarks. He outlined numerous steps the authority has taken against service provider. We'll now take questions from the press. The commissioner will respond to the question accordingly. Please ask a question.
Thank you so much. Please come in the queue. Please come and get in the queue. The commissioner will handle something 3 at a time. After we will 4 at a time. You will take note of 4 at a time as well as you are addressing. Please be quiet. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner. My name is Chukwu Fama, and I report for Spoon FM TV. So, sir, you can't tell us, you said 300,000 in your statement, farm for Lone Star, or you care to tell us how the money payment is distributed between the two parties, how much Orange going to pay, how much is that going to pay each?
300,000.
300,000 each. And we to the first question, recently you issued for a list of media institutions that are not compliant to your own rules and regulations. You care to give us update on that? I didn't hear you mention this.
Next question. Good afternoon, Mr. Kamara. I'm Julius, Quantum Consultant Television. I think 2 months or 3 ago, I said to be corrected, the LTA released a summary report on the quality of service regulation. I'd like to know whether your enforcement line is in line with that. And 2 to that, will you clearly tell us if there are provisions or laws that are violated, will you state the provisions or the laws? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. My name is Anthony Gray, and I report for ECOWAS Radio. What are you talking about? Orange expansion to neighboring country, and I want to know the turnover note that you received. Was it earmarked that this has been an arrangement that Orange made with the previous government, or is just something that made abrupt because you said it was never communicated officially? So we want to know that. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Commissioner. My name is Kulia Phillips. Thank you that you started the enforcement. My question will not be about dealing with the regulator, the service provider now. Now that you are enforcing, we see all around the country, there are tall towers, tall buildings, and all around. And by the telecommunication law, those towers should carry the wireless in order to direct plane. What are you doing about that also? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Johnny Tuman, I work for Senegal. In recent time, we attended a press conference at the LTA office when the new salary is going to follow to that. And among them was EFBC, the state broadcasting. And according to the other general, his appointment said that the LTA authority does not cover. And then it was not called the state broadcasting, because the state broadcasting is supposed to count its frequency on the LTA to see all the regular stations.
Yep. Yeah, you can do something. Thank you. So, just to make some things clear, so both operators got into a price war. That's the main crux of the fine. However, there are other violations as well, and I name a few from Orange. And similarly, Lone Star has refused to provide data that we need to regulate the sector. That's another violation. And also blatantly delaying license fees that we need to regulate the sector. So for the fine, each party is fined $300,000. So the total is $600,000. With respect to our action, and I hope our
action today, just like last week, has effect. Our action with the radio stations, we see several radio stations started to renew their licenses. Some are applied officially. So our intervention last week actually had a positive effect. And if the radio stations can comply, I think the same should apply to the bigger operators. We don't live in a lawless society. We have laws that govern the sector, we have regulations, we have rules, there are orders, and those are things that are supposed to help you do your business. And it is your responsibility to work within the confines of those instruments. And because the operators both deliberately chose to undercut. This is not something you can do by mistake. The price war, the operators, they plan. They will go for a meeting. They say, okay, so we're going to cut the price down, and this is what we'll earn, or this is what we'll lose. It's a business decision that they make. But in the process, our end user gets the short end of this bargain, because the service becomes less and less reliable. But at the same time, the government of Liberia, which relies on a percentage of the revenue, gets affected. So government can also have constraints in carrying out its responsibilities. So that was to clarify some of the points from the statement. So the quality of service regulation, there was a question on that, is currently enforced. By the way, that was again a pooling, because both parties refused to submit the baseline documentation. That is, what is the quality now, so we can be able to benchmark and say, oh, so this is what it's supposed to be, so, and you are below, to make corrective actions. And sadly, they delayed and delayed. We have to extend the submission of that. So we're flexible. And I believe in the next 30 days, it should be fully effected, and then we'll start holding operators responsible with respect to quality of service. Again, you can't be getting ready to make sure that these people plant sufficient towers and do investment to give quality in the service, and then you allow them to actually erode their revenue. It does not, it does not match. The cross-border permission. So there was a meeting held with the parties. There was a temporary authorization, not in writing, and they know better. They should have requested LTA to do that in writing. But then, even then, it was a temporary situation that allowed the LTA to give them a temporary authorization. They should have asked the LTA in writing, and they should have received, especially after that emergency period, which they refused to do. The towers regulation. So there is also at the LTA, a lot of people, everything we're doing, there's so much in our little LTA. Another big responsibility that's what Commissioner Masako is responsible for is tower regulation. Before you erect any tower in Liberia, not only for telecommunications, but even, not for the mobile operator, but for radio, and even when you're building high-rise buildings, you have to get permission from the LTA to ensure that those tower meet international standard and airport regulations. And we do that usually in collaboration with the airport authority. especially for infrastructures that goes to the airport area. Regarding LBS, I think we spoke the last time. We will remain at that. And so I have no further comments on that.
Thank you.
All right.
Hamlet, any more questions? So, the digital transformation, I was here the last time to talk about digital transformation. We'll give you updates. I don't have anything written in front of me, but I can give you some very good updates. So the training will start on the 8th of July. Resources have been identified, is being currently mobilized and allocated to the project. We have, on average, I think the least county got something like 200 or 300 applicants. In total, we got 11,900 applicants or interested parties that we accepted to enroll. These people will be starting on the 8th. The curriculum is set. The trainers have been identified. Training location are set. We are only preparing to dispatch the people. Currently, the call center is calling all of those that were accepted, that their application was accepted, and which location they will be enrolled at. So if you're in a county, we find a location in the county. They're already formed, but they'll tell you which one of the places you'll be doing your training. So we are well on course when it comes to that. And by the 22nd or 25th, we should be able to complete the 2 weeks training for all 11,000 plus. Again, it's a plus because apparently there was serious interest in the training that was put out there. Thank you very, very, very much. What is the follow-up?
Yeah,
You'll get along.
my name is Strogon Farmer again from Spoon TV. The follow-up is you already took your decision. How long Orange and Lone Star will take to respond to your decision in terms of compliance? How long?
They were given 14 days to make payments of the fine. As I speak, the letters, either they have already been delivered or is en route.
So when the 14 days starts from?
As of today. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
So this portion of the conference was not intended to have me say anything. But I just want us to sit, all of us here, and just reflect a little bit. When we try to give a picture about the magnitude of what has been inherited by the Waka government, some will say it's politics. But every serious government institution, beyond relying on energy from the national grid, you just have to have some kind of standby. And I'm sure this is not just a maker, all across government. People left the government in a state that is unimaginable. When we started here, you were covering us in this very conference room. You know why it was? I just announced to you earlier today that we are looking for a place that will operate from for the next 6 months. Because the scope of work that we are about to announce will not require us being here while the work is taking place. And part of that package to remake the Ministry of Information will include the provision of a generator, not just a building and other things. But let's think about this. You have a serious press conference, power outage in the middle of the press conference. Ministry does not even have a type of generator. And yet people believe we're running a government here in the last 6 years. And when people are trying to make those interventions that will put our country back on its feet, there are efforts to politicize it. But thank God we have a leader who is focused. And it's more concerned about the things that will benefit you rather than the politics. Where in the world the provision of 285 pieces of FOA equipment will be a matter of politics? Where? A 177-year-old country is not even accessible to the people. You know, we're far from here to Ghana. Oh yes, well, our country long before Ghana. But look at us. We came to end an era of national embarrassment. Give us a chance to do it. And keep your politics to yourself. Thank you.